Hey guys, on today's show, we're gonna make filet mignon and twice baked potatoes.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy to make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
For our twice baked potatoes, you're gonna need 4 medium potatoes, half a cup of sour cream, 4 ounces of cheddar cheese, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of chopped chives, bacon, it's optional, and salt and pepper to taste.
You're gonna need 2 6-ounce filet mignons.
All right, guys. So we're gonna head to the grocery store. You know, Pennsylvania's really goofy. They have this law that you can't sit in the front seat if you're under like 4'9". So don't tell on it. Don't tell on me, guys. Don't report me, because you know I'm only like 3 foot tall. So I don't want to go to jail for driving or sitting up front. But it's funny, when I first got my driver's license, I went to the DMV and they're like, "How tall are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like 3 foot, you know." And the guy's filling out my driver's license, and he's like, "Hey, the computer won't take 3 foot." And so I think I had to end up going like 3'6" or something like that. That was the lowest it would the computer system would take. So if anybody asks, I'm 3'6". So. But yeah, that was a funny time. One of the times you can laugh at the DMV, right? So we're gonna cook our twice baked potatoes. Perfect side dish for any steak, especially on Valentine's Day. Something you can cook for yourself, cook for your loved one, your special sweetheart, you know. So we're gonna cook a steak and a twice baked potato. So to start off with, we're gonna need to get our baked potatoes. So let's go get our potatoes. All right, so when you're picking out your potatoes, obviously you wanna look for something that's long and thick because you're gonna have to stuff it, but you also need enough potato to make the mixture for inside. So usually you might need like an extra 2 potatoes to make the filling with it. So we'll grab a whole bag and try to find some good potatoes in there. Like that's a good one there. And if not, you can always just select your own here and buy them individually as well. All right, so for our filling for our twice baked potato, we're gonna need sour cream, we're gonna need chives, and cheese. So we'll go over here and grab some chives. All right, so these are already cut up for us. Make it simple, make it easy on yourself. Just buy the ones that are already cut up. Good to go. Get our sour cream here to make our filling for our twice baked potato. It's almost like a mashed potato though. So we're gonna whip them really good with some sour cream, butter, and cheese. And if you wanna get fancy, you can also add some bacon as well. We'll grab some extra sharp cheddar cheese. That's always my favorite, my go-to cheese. So always grate your own. So we're gonna have a filet, tenderloin, and twice baked potatoes. So we're gonna grab these from the case. Best place to get them, obviously, get them from the butcher. Nice big steak, some good marbling in it. Should be awesome. So of course today we got a fresh little coating of snow, and I'm sure you guys are wondering how I deal with the snow and things like that. But to be honest with you, when I was younger, I loved the snow. I was always playing in the snow. I lived out west, out in Vancouver, Washington. That's where I grew up till I was 12. And having 2 older siblings, that we would just always hang out in the snow. Couldn't wait for that snow day, you know. We'd be watching or listening on the radio for our school to announce that they were closed. And I would go out and I would actually crawl around in the snow is what I would do. I would wear, you know, ski bibs and snow bibs, and then I would have a jacket, you know, those big puffy jackets that we always used to wear back in the 80s and 90s. And I would go out there and I'd actually just crawl around in the snow and you know, snowball fights, build snowmen. My brothers and I were really big into building snow forts too, so we would always, you know, try to build walls and stuff like that, and then throw ice balls at each other and things like that, you know. But for me, you know, always being on the ground, being in the snow, I was always wet. I was always like soaking wet. Within like an hour, I would be freezing cold, and I'd have to go back in the house, you know, set my wet clothes by the wood stove, try to dry them, you know, or mom would throw them in the dryer for us, and then as soon as they were dry, hey, we were right back out there playing in it. Now as I got older, I don't like the snow. And then coming from Florida, you know, it took some getting used to. Obviously driving in the snow, wheeling around. When I was in college, you know, the campus and stuff like that always have like an 8 a.m. class and having to wheel in the snow and things like that. Obviously, if it's real bad, I just stay home, you know. But for the most part, I always try to, you know, push through it, you know, and try to get through the snow. Sometimes it can be almost like sand, and sand is like impossible, of course, you know that. The wheels don't go in sand, but for the most part, you know, I kind of make a judgment call on how bad it is or not, but always try to make an effort, get out there and stay active and getting it. And also I enjoy snow skiing too. Hopefully we'll eventually get to show you guys that on one of the episodes, but I living out west, my parents put me in a ski program, and I learned how to ski first on a sit ski, which is almost like a sled, and you use poles. And then I moved up to a mono ski, which is like a sled that sits on top of a ski. And then you have two outriggers that are skis as well. So that took some getting used to. Lots of falling and hitting my head and things like that.
Hi, my name is Dad Dick.
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
And our family is here for your health.
If you're considering a lift chair, call or stop in and see us at Dick's Home Care. Our chairs come in a wide variety of fabrics and finishes. We even have chairs that are able to be closer to your wall in case you have a small space.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Hey guys, so it's Valentine's Day here. Hopefully you guys are hanging out with your sweetheart later on today. Got some plans to do something awesome. But as for a meal, we're gonna do a nice filet and a twice-baked potato. And to start off with, we're gonna cook our filet. So we have our cast iron skillet. All I've done is put in some nice butter here and got it starting to melt. And then we have our nice filet that we picked up at the store from our butcher. It's probably a nice 6 ounce or so filet. We got our skillet nice and hot. We're gonna just simply season both sides of our filet with just salt and pepper. And this is really all the seasoning that we're gonna put on it. And then we're just gonna set it in the skillet. We're gonna sear it on all sides, and then we're going to finish it in the oven, a 400-degree oven, which we already preheated. So we'll just lay this in here. Turn our heat on like medium. Now remember, when you're cooking with cast iron, the entire pot, the entire pan gets hot. So you want to be careful you don't burn yourself. Use a hot pad when you even touch the handle, because this thing is going to get real hot. And we're just going to coat this thing with some butter. And it's just going to take a couple seconds on each side. And like I said, then we're going to finish it to hopefully about a medium rare. Medium rare is how I like it. We'll finish it in the oven. So I hope everybody's got some cool plans. Hopefully got some nice gifts for Valentine's Day. Hopefully somebody's planning on cooking me a nice filet. for Valentine's. If not, you can always cook one for yourself. Now when you're cooking the filet, you want to make sure you sear it. You don't scorch it. If your pan's too hot, you're going to end up scorching it. You're going to burn it. It's going to ruin the whole flavor of the steak. So we're just looking to brown it a little bit here. That's looking real good. We're going to flip it over to the other side here. Just it's about a minute or so on each side. Then we're going to turn it. Do the edges real quick. Go in with some more butter. What you're going to do, dress this, baste it with that butter. Those juices from the steak. It's going to be awesome. Smells awesome. Perfect dish to go along with our potatoes. I'm just gonna flip it, do the other end. Like a nice caramelization, nice color on that steak. And the inside's still raw. Like I said, we're gonna finish it in the oven. Just for about 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Now, the cool thing about cast iron is this whole skillet can go right in the oven. So as this is done here, we're just gonna take the whole entire pan, turn our heat off. We're gonna put the whole thing in the oven. Finish it in there. Like I said, 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how you want it cooked. But we're gonna throw this in the oven. Then we'll start working on our potatoes. We're gonna make our twice baked potato. We're gonna start off with a potato. Obviously, we're gonna wash it and we're gonna bake it in the oven at 300 to 400 degrees, probably about an hour. You want it till it's about tender to the touch, you know, not too soft. And obviously, you want to pierce it so it doesn't explode in the oven. Once it comes out, you let it rest for a little while. Then we're gonna slice it in half. Take our potatoes. And usually one serving is half a potato. So we'll start with just a couple here. And this is the difficult part about it, is that you want to carve out the potato, but you want to leave, a quarter of an inch maybe of potato on the edges. Because what you're doing is scooping this out to make the filling. And then you're going to put it back in the potato. And a spoon works, or you can even use like a grapefruit spoon will also work, because it's serrated on one side. It makes the scooping process a little bit easier as well. But if your potato's cooked well enough, it should come right out. So we'll scoop some of this out. And then we're just going to repeat this process for all of our potatoes. And this is going to be used for our filling, which is almost like a mashed potato puree almost. So we got those. Do a couple more here. And this is part of our Valentine's Day dinner. If you want to impress somebody for Valentine's Day, cook something at home. A lot of people, they offer these at fine restaurants. If you've been to a wedding or something like that, you probably had these, or a fundraising dinner or something like that. This is usually a go-to side with the steak. But they're also nice just to have at home as well, whenever you're in the mood for a good piece of potato. And it's basically like an inside-out potato, with a loaded potato, basically. So we scoop all this out. We have a nice pocket there in our potato. And then next we're gonna take all this and we're gonna mash it like we did, almost like a mashed potato, and mix our sour cream and our cheese in there all together. All right, so once we've cleaned out our potatoes, we left that small edge in there for our baked potato. We're just gonna take the filling, we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter in here, and then we're just gonna mix this all together. And to add to this, we're gonna add our sour cream, a couple tablespoons. We're gonna turn this off because we don't want to make a mess. We don't want to splatter it all over the place. Just a couple tablespoons. Mix that all together. And then to that, we're gonna add our cheese. Cheese goes in the filling. About a quarter of a cup, half a cup. Then we'll add some chives, just a little chopped chives here. A little color, a little flavor, a little onion flavor. Just about a quarter teaspoon is all you need. Now you can do whatever you want with this. You can add bacon to it. You can add vegetables and mushrooms and things like that if you want. But I kind of just like it plain, simple. And so then this mixes really well. You want it really soft where that potato is almost really smooth. So we're gonna take our mixture here, make sure it's all thinned out. And if it's clumping too much, you can always add more sour cream to it. But we'll go ahead, almost like a potato frosting almost kind of feel to it. And then we should be good to go. Clean this off here. We got our potato mixture. And we're ready to fill our potatoes back up, our potato shells. And then we're gonna throw them in the oven. So next step is to go ahead and fill those potatoes. All right, so we have our cheese and our potato filling that we're gonna fill our potato shells back up with. In the meantime, you wanna preheat your oven to 350 because we're gonna bake these for about 15 minutes in the oven. So we're just gonna, we're gonna fill these. And you want them pretty full. There's one. And another one here. Now, honestly, this is like one of my favorite side dishes. And whenever they have them on the menu, when you go to a nice restaurant, it's always the thing that I pick if it's an option to have these twice baked potatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and fill the rest of these, and then we're gonna put them in a casserole, and we're gonna put them in the oven. We're gonna coat them with a little bit more cheese. You can also add breadcrumbs if you want. There's not really anything else I can think of that you'd put on it, but breadcrumbs and cheese is really it. And then you just want to make that bubbly, hot cheese on top, kind of brown it a little bit. You know, I like that burnt cheese, so that's what we're gonna do next. All right, so we got our potatoes filled here. I'm just gonna sprinkle some cheese on top. And then we're gonna pop these in the oven. Like I said, 15 minutes or so at 350, just so that cheese gets nice and melted on the inside and on top. And then we'll be ready to eat. So now we're gonna put them in the oven. We got our oven preheated at 350. We're gonna open up the oven here. and just throw these in. All right, so we're gonna put those in there and let those bake. And while those are baking, we're gonna head over to the studio and learn a little bit more about my story and what God has done in my life.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Hi, my name is Dad Dick,
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
and our family is here for your health.
If you're looking for a stair lift, I would definitely recommend Bruno stair lifts. The reason people get Bruno stair lifts from Dick's Home Care is it keeps them in the home that they love. We also have a rental program on the stair lifts. My customers coming back to me saying, I'm so glad I bought this.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
So today I want to dive in a little bit more about the spine infection that I had, the bone infection that I had, and being in the Shriners Hospital. I want to talk to you guys about the faith and the encouragement that I had, and also talk about the loneliness and some of the obstacles that I had to overcome on my own, dealing with being in the hospital and being tired and not feeling well, and those things that we all deal with that we have to overcome every day, a lot of us. And I just want to encourage you guys with those things, so hopefully you can relate to my story and relate it to your life. So there I was. I had gone through these surgeries, and I had a game plan together about my recovery, and I had doctors and nurses coming in and check on me, around the clock, and they ended up talking about a 9-week at home infection or antibiotic treatment, and that I was going to have IV antibiotics for 9 weeks at home. Never been through something like that before. That was really intimidating. But when I was in the hospital, I remember being there and being in so much pain. And if you know anything about Shriners Hospitals, it's a great place to be at. They try to make it really fun for these kids. I went there from the time I was born till I was 21 years old. And so I grew up around these hospitals my entire life. And they had activities and games and pool tables and Nintendos. And I mean, it was actually a fun place to hang out. But when you didn't feel good, you didn't want to be there. And I definitely didn't want to be there in this point in my life. Being 15 years old, supposed to be having a lot of fun with your friends and you're hanging out. It's summer, you're going to summer camps and things like that. But here I was laying in the hospital and not able to do anything. And that was really hard for me to chew on. You know what I mean? It was hard for me to adjust to being there. And this was really the first time that I was knocked down to where I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. And I had to wait for my body and I had to wait for God to heal me so that I could return to my normal life. And it's funny how God will set you down every once in a while, and in those times that you think that things are overwhelming and you can't get over them, it's really a time to personal reflection, that you can really sit back and really draw on Christ and your faith and the things that you've been through in the past, and say, wow, I've made it this far. I'm 15 years old. I went through this major surgery. I went through losing my legs, to the house fire, to I just survived this infection, and now I'm alive, right? So that's a good thing. And now I just want to see where God is in all of this. And that was something that I really tried to draw on in that time, because there was many nights that my parents had left that I was bawling my eyes out, just saying, hey, Mom and Dad, where are you? I'm all alone here, and really scared, being 15 years old, not knowing what was going to happen, and you're in pain and things like that. And I remember praying for God to heal me. I didn't understand everything at the moment, and I didn't know where God was going to lead me, but I knew He was going to take care of me. I knew I was one of His own. And this is something my parents instilled in me ever since I was little, that, hey, if I just trusted God, He was going to get me through everything in my life. I mean, everything. And there's going to be times that we're gonna sit there and be like, oh, where are you, God? What have you done? How have you put me in this situation? And a lot of times we put ourselves in those situations, but here I was in this situation, and I really had to draw on Him to say, hey, God, I need you. I need you to help me get through this tough time, this loneliness, this fear that I had. And I could really reach out and pray to Him, and He really touched my heart in those moments. and said, hey, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to provide for you. I'm going to help you get through this. And you will survive, you know. And I remember laying in bed, and it was a dark room, and there's kids running down the halls, you know, and there's kids in wheelchairs flying by and things like that. And I just wanted to be just a normal kid like I was, just to enjoy life. But being laying in a hospital bed was not where I wanted to be. But that's where God had put me at that moment, and I knew that He was going to get me through it, and sure enough, He did. And I hope that when things arise in your life where you feel that, hey, where are you, God? And this seems overwhelming, that you really draw on your faith by your prior experiences, draw on your faith because you've seen it in my life, you've seen it in other people's life. And I think that's the whole point of sharing your testimony and sharing the things that you've been through, is that you can really have an impact on other people. So I hope that encourages you guys a little bit today. But we're going to go enjoy that nice steak and potatoes today. And we'll catch you guys later on. Thanks so much for joining us today. We got our nice filet mignon and our twice baked potato here, sitting here with the crew. We're going to enjoy this nice Valentine's dinner together. So let's try this out, guys.
All right.
Very tender.
Steak's good.
Nice.
The potato's really good too.
Good job once again, buddy.
All right. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. If you have questions or comments about the show or topics you would like me to speak about, please reach out to me, Dano at danoburkhart.com. And also check out the website, danoburkhart.com, for all the previous episodes.
Dick's Home Care can help you stay mobile. Dick's offers a full line of scooters to help with mobility both inside and outside your home. Take your scooter with you wherever you go with a scooter lift from Dick's. They are available for most vehicles. If standing or sitting is becoming difficult, a lift chair from Dick's will make life easier. There are many styles and sizes to choose from. And Dick's honors warranties and service on what we sell. Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Hi, my name is Thad Dick.
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
And our family is here for your health.
Purify O3 is the simple, effective way to clean your CPAP or BiPAP. It provides hospital-grade sanitation, killing 99.99% of bacteria and germs with the touch of a button. Everything you need comes in one affordable kit for just $1.90. It's available exclusively at Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in home medical equipment.